How to brainwash yourself for success. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I'm so far away from where I want to be? That was me. 19 years old, working as a builder, earning $7.50 an hour, taking drugs before I woke up in the morning, drugs to go to work, drugs to come home, getting into fights every single weekend. You see, I was just so angry at the world, but deep down, I was actually just angry at myself. Then I had a relationship end, and that's when everything crashed. I remember sitting there alone one night, asked myself if this was actually really worth it. This small town, this job, this version of me that I hated, in a complete doped up state, I tried to take my own life. And in that moment, something inside me said, if you're going to keep living, then why don't you actually start living? And that was the night I quit my job, I packed my stuff, and I left that place that was killing me from the inside, and I started over. Starting over wasn't glamorous, and I didn't wake up confident and clear straight away. To be honest, I woke up terrified. I had no job, no plan, no idea what I was going to be doing without all this chaos, but I had something that I had never had before, and that was space. See, when you create space, all the noise that you've been avoiding finally shows up. The guilt, the shame, the anger, and everything that I had been running from. And that's when I realized that the only way out wasn't to escape it, but it was to understand it. So now fast forward over 9 years, I became a millionaire by 28 years old, built multiple successful companies, and now coach people all around the planet on how to rewire their mind and actually build the life and business that actually gives them real freedom. But here's the thing. I still think about the 19-year-old version of me, the kid on the job site, and I ask myself, how did I get from there to here? It wasn't luck, it wasn't strategy. It came down to 3 tools that completely rewired how I saw myself and how I saw the world. So the first one is about really understanding the past and what creates our problems. And there's this method that one of my mentors first taught me, and he said, E plus S equals P. The P is the problem. Now, I didn't have a lack of problems in my life, that's for sure. So what I started to do was I started to look at all the major problems that I actually had in my life, and I started to reverse engineer this, and I took massive accountability, and I asked myself the question, how did I create this? You see, the E is in the event. We can't control the events that happen in our life. And no event is a good event or a bad event. We just have things that are happening. So you're driving to work in the morning and somebody cuts you off in traffic. That's an event, but it doesn't mean anything until the next equation comes into it, which is S for story. You see, an event happens, and then when humans get added into the event, then that's what creates the problems. You see, an event happens, you get cut off in traffic, and then we want to add a story and meaning and emotion to it. Like, oh my God, that person could have killed me. What a bad driver. We go into this crazy situation of blaming people. Then these 2 things fueled together, they create a problem. That problem might be anger, frustration, stress, worry, or it could even go as far as creating trauma in our bodies of going like, oh, I never want to get in a car again. It's so scary. And we create these stories and meanings from things that have happened in the past based off an event that actually happened, but then our brain internalized it differently, and we added a big story and a meaning and emotion to it, and we create a problem in our life. So I just started going back to all of the problems that I had in my life, and I started to ask myself, what stories have I created that have allowed me to feel this certain way? And one of the problems that I had was I was always broke. I had no money. So I had to ask myself, what are the stories that I believe around money and making money? And a few of them was, money is hard to get. If I become rich, then I'm going to be hated, because we grew up in a family where my parents didn't really like money and rich people, and they was always struggling and things like this. So I had series of events happen in my life around money, and then I would see it and I would internalize it, and I'd create a story that making more money would make me a bad person, and making money is hard to get, and I'm too young to be successful, and I didn't finish school properly, so how could I be successful? All of these stories that I had. And then it started creating all of these problems. The problems were having no money, struggling all the time. So what I started to do was go back to these events and ask myself the question from the conscious mind and go, is that what actually happened? When I saw mom and dad arguing about money when I was 10 years old, the fact that they were arguing, did that really mean that I could never have success? Or did they just not prioritize making success and prioritize money, and that's why they fought? And I started to completely change my life. You see, I used to go back and think like, is that really what happened? And I'd say, no, that's not what happened at all. They always had beliefs and stories that money wasn't a good thing and money was hard to get because of the way that they brought up. And what I knew for sure is that I didn't want to keep carrying these stories. And I literally wiped away the problems. So the metaphor goes like this. Event plus story equals problem. But get this, once I understood this, my life changed. Event plus no story equals no problem. And it's as simple as that. So how I now live my life is whenever an event happens, I don't jump into it and add all this story and this meaning and this emotion and these crazy things that my brain wants to make up. And as a byproduct, I live a pretty stress-free life, and I see things for what they actually are, not what they might have been, could have been, or should have been. The second tool is daily hypnosis rewiring. Now, hypnosis sometimes has this weird connotation to it. Sometimes people think hypnosis, they think coming up on stage and barking like a dog and acting like a chicken. And believe me, when I do stage hypnosis shows with people at some of our events, then we definitely have some fun and it's awesome. But that's one aspect of hypnosis. The other side of hypnosis is actually hypnotherapy. And let me tell you something quickly on this. This is such a hot topic that CIA, the US government, spent over $250 million researching just this topic because they want to understand the powers of hypnosis and can we reprogram our minds to create double agents? Can we reprogram our minds to create assassins? And they went as far as creating this project called MK Ultra. You can look it up. And what they found is they can actually use hypnosis and other things as well to brainwash people to do pretty much whatever they wanted. So when I started to figure this out, I started asking myself the question, how can I brainwash myself through the power of hypnosis to actually be more successful, to think and act like a millionaire and to be a millionaire? So I done a huge deep dive research into this and I understood the powers of hypnosis. I created my own hypnosis recordings that literally brainwashed me every single day to be more disciplined, more confident, more courageous, and to think and act like a millionaire. The only reason people who are successful comes down to the belief system and do the behavior of those who are successful. A good example is a very controversial figure, Donald Trump. He has been a billionaire 2 times in his life. He was a billionaire, lost all of his money, and then became a billionaire again. The only way someone like that can do that is because deep inside of his brain, he has the belief that he is a billionaire and he does the behaviors that billionaires do. Now, the reason people don't take this action is because in their mind, they have these limitations, these doubts, these fears, these frustrations, these anxiety around who they might be around becoming successful. So hypnosis is one of the most powerful ways to literally reprogram your brain every single day to think like and act like a millionaire. If you want my daily hypnosis recording, you can hit the link in the description below and I'm gonna put it there for free. Take it and you can start listening to it every single day and allow me to rewire your brain every single night when you go to sleep to think like and act like a millionaire. And while you're here, and if you're enjoying this channel, hit the subscribe button because we put out so much content to help you literally learn the skill set and mindset that you need to create your dream life. So if you're enjoying this, subscribe, make sure you don't miss an episode. So the second tool is all about rewiring the present. The third tool is all about rewiring the future. Somebody asked me one time, they said, at your funeral, how do you want to be remembered? And I didn't have an answer. And it got me thinking, I don't want people to say, oh, he was successful, he had this. I want people to talk about the attributes, the characteristics, because that's what people actually talk about. No one talks about people's success at a funeral, but what they'll always talk about is who they were as a person and how they made them feel. So I asked myself that question. At my funeral, how do I want to be remembered? What are the 3 words that I want people to say about me? I want them to say, Morgan was so this, this, and this. And are those 3 characteristics that would add up to and attribute to the life that I actually wanted to live? And the answer was fun, focused, and passionate. So then what I did was I pulled out my phone and I literally put into the alarm fun, passion, focus in big bold letters. And I let this alarm go off every single hour on the hour between 8 o'clock and 8 o'clock every single day. So I'd be sitting there working at the gym or doing whatever, and my alarm would just go off and the alarm would go off. And what I had to do was I'd see it and I'd say, I'm fun, passionate, and focused. You see, this was me rewiring myself of who I wanted to be for my future self. Every single hour, this is bringing my awareness back to going, am I being fun, passionate, and focused? And literally cementing this into myself again and again and again. I did this for about a year until the point where my life literally started to change, where I would really be known as someone who was very fun, very passionate, and very focused. And I really think that out of all the things that I've done on this planet to rewire my brain, that has been one of the most simplest yet most effective tools I've ever used. So think about to yourself, who do you want to be remembered for at your funeral? What are the 3 characteristics or 3 attributes that people should remember you for? And and put them into your phone and let it go off every single hour. And when it goes off, say, I'm fun, passionate, focused, whatever it might be for you. And literally watch your life, watch your behavior, watch your focus, and watch your results start to shift before your eyes. So if you feel stuck right now, it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because you're still running on an old identity. So stop trying to fix your behavior and start rewiring who you believe you are. Because your business, your relationships, and your success will only grow to the level of your identity. So rewire the mind, rebuild the identity, and the rest takes care of itself. So if you like this video and you're someone who actually wants to build more internal confidence, then go ahead and check out this episode right here, because I explain every single thing step by step on how you can become more confident. Go now.